questions.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Kravis. I live in Oakville, Ontario. Thank you for having me here today. I used to be a lawyer and a bank executive, but 11 years ago at age 36, I was suddenly debilitated and bedridden by a mystery disease that took me hundreds of thousands of dollars in 5 years to determine was Lyme disease. I had to go to the US, pay even more money, and I spent 2 years getting continuous antibiotic treatment, including a PICC line, which gave me my quality of life back and my family's as well. I still cannot work, but I advocate for Lyme disease now. There are 5 people in my family with Lyme, and my dog has it as well. But my dog was treated promptly with compassionate and care, and he got 5 months of antibiotics, and he made a full recovery. And my niece got early treatment after seeing 4 doctors with a bullseye rash. And the rest of us, we are permanently affected. And as a mother, I live with the guilt and horror of discovering I probably infected my 2 kids. They both have chronic Lyme and multiple co-infections, and one has encephalitis causing neuropsych issues and arthritis in the spine, and she's 14 years old. In the last week, I've spent many hours thinking, what could I possibly say to you in 10 minutes to convey to you the suffering, the despair, the abuse, the financial ruin that is sweeping this country? I could talk about my full story. I was financially secure, a Bay Street professional. I had money, connections, and access to the very best health care, but it did not protect me and my family, and it will not protect you. I could talk about the 40,000 Canadians who signed our petition, or wrote thousands of Lyme letters for Minister Philpott, letters that bring us to tears on a regular basis. But Thursday, you will be told the petition comments are really about ticks, and stories are anecdotes, not evidence. I could talk about the independent professional benchmark survey we did in Canada to ask how many people are affected by Lyme disease. The survey asked, have you or someone you know in Canada been diagnosed with Lyme disease? And the answer is between 2.8 and 5 million people. Public health numbers are a joke because people are denied testing and not counted. People get false negative results and they are not counted. People get positive results. They're told that they're false and they're not counted. People get positive tests from international labs and they are not counted. And finally, those who by some miracle know about Lyme, convince their doctor to order tests, pass the first tier, pass the second tier, prove they were in an endemic area, get to the doctor in time, get a bullseye rash, have the doctor visually inspect the bullseye rash. Even a majority of those cases are not counted. Just like Sue Faber talked about. I thought about asking questions like, why has public health ignored 35 published peer-reviewed tick studies by an Ontario researcher named John Scott, who has compiled over the last 27 years? Why has public health not warned First Nations they are living in hyper-endemic areas like Kenora, Ontario, where John Scott estimates ticks have been established for 50 years? Why have our doctors never heard of co-infections? My 13-year-old daughter has Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and this is a disease that can be fatal in up to 75% of untreated cases. I had to fight for this test, and when it came back positive, my GP fired us. This leaves me going back to my original question, which is, what could I possibly say to you to convince you something tragic, shocking, and disturbing is happening in plain sight? I decided I would speak about the truth, the real truth. The truth that nobody wants to talk about or believe, but the truth is the bill was great, but the final framework is useless. It is inaccurate. It's going to cause harm to Canadians. And the process was mangled by some powerful, unethical, and self-serving interests. The truth is we have a massive global pandemic, one that is not easily prevented by pulling your socks up and staying in the middle of the paths. The truth is people are so desperate to get life-saving antibiotics, they beg their vets. And they beg their doctors to try and get 6 weeks of antibiotics in a desperate attempt to avoid lifelong disability. And the truth is there's a secret network of Canadian doctors who risk their licenses to treat their patients. And the truth is Lyme patients are horribly abused by doctors, but if they file a complaint to the college, they are harassed and blacklisted. And the truth is millions of Canadians, including First Nations and children, are walking around with the wrong diagnosis. The truth is, U.S. doctors are getting paid by us to learn about this disease instead of our own doctors gaining this knowledge and expertise. And the truth is, we have thousands of parents who live in agony and despair, hiding in their homes with sick, disabled children who scream and cry, have seizures, are in horrific pain. The truth is, people with bullseye rashes in every province, every day, are being turned away and denied treatment, sent home to wind up disabled in excruciating, unrelenting pain. Some doctors say, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I will get in trouble, and I have to protect my family over yours. And some doctors say, I'm not allowed to help you, but if you go to the US and get treatment, you will get better. And many doctors say, I guarantee you don't have Lyme disease. And in fact, they are correct because the system at every stage guarantees it's virtually impossible to get a Lyme diagnosis. When the Canadian test is negative, it is called gold standard. When the test is positive, it is called false. And when the test is from an out of country, it is called garbage, except if it's negative. The truth is surveillance is a sham and a waste of money because ticks are dropped everywhere by migrating birds. And surveillance is not progress. It is a tool used to deny the disease. And the truth is some people don't get their Lyme test back from the national lab for months. And too many people are told their test results are lost. The newest weapon in the Lyme war is antimicrobial resistance, which denies very sick Lyme people life-saving treatment or the dangerous side effects of antibiotics. But the truth is people with arthritis, syphilis, Crohn's disease, tuberculosis, relapsing fever, rheumatic heart fever, rosacea, MS, and acne are given months and years of antibiotics without hesitation. And cancer patients are given the choice of drugs with side effects so dangerous they can kill them. Let's review the so-called facts of Lyme disease that we are told by public health and infectious disease. Number 1, our testing is fine. Number 2, ticks must be attached for 24 to 48 hours to transmit disease. Number 3, only black-legged ticks carry Lyme. Number 4, your risk of contracting Lyme is very low, so don't worry, and virtually zero outside of endemic areas. Number 5, you can't have Lyme if you don't get a bullseye rash. Number 6, 2 or 3 weeks of one antibiotic is all you need to be fully cured. And if you have any new lingering symptoms, you have a new disease, which is called post-Lyme treatment disease syndrome, which looks and feels exactly the same as the infectious disease you just had 3 weeks earlier. 8, we are told there's no scientific evidence of persistent infection or that long-term antibiotics help. We are told there is no scientific evidence of congenital transmission. We are told we don't know what all these people have, but it's not Lyme. And we're told that people fixating on Lyme could miss the chance to get a real diagnosis. And finally, we are told other countries' tests, all of them, are unvalidated from for-profit labs, not FDA approved, purchased positives, garbage, or run by profiteers and quacks. But the truth is every single one of those sentences is untrue. The truth is doctors are being misled, patients are being misled, and the public is being misled. And we need you to do what no one has been able to do despite fighting for decades. Not advocates, not Bill 442, not celebrities, politicians, journalists, not even an international organization of medical doctors and scientists. We need you to ask yourself, does it make sense that tens of thousands of Canadians have a shared delusion about their own health and welfare, their body and their symptoms? That tens of thousands of kids who've never met are suffering from a shared psychiatric disease that causes them to fake symptoms? That previously rational, healthy adults are conspiring to obtain antibiotics, which, if abused, give you a stomachache and a sunburn? Does it make sense that desperately sick people bankrupt themselves for treatments that provide no relief to them? We need you to ask the questions that always reveal the truth. Who benefits? Who benefits or profits from the denial and suppression of these diseases? Who benefits from patients missing the early cure with a cheap generic antibiotic and wind up labeled with fibromyalgia or an incurable neurodegenerative disease like MS, ALS, or Alzheimer's? It's not patients. It's not taxpayers. It's not families, kids. It's not businesses. It's not our healthcare budget. It's not family doctors or clinicians, and it's not our economy. The truth is, it is too late for me and my family because there is no amount of money, drugs, connections, or treatments that will restore our health. We are here for you. We are here for all those Canadians who are so sick and in pain and feel abandoned and on the verge of suicide. We are here for all those Canadians who will be unknowingly struck down in their parks and their backyards. And we are here because we cannot bear to hear one more story of a child with a bullseye rash being sent away to end up disabled. And the truth is, Canadians desperately need you to stand up and do the right thing. We need your help. Please help. Thank you.